Hi, I'm Chef Kitty George, and today I want to introduce you to mussels. Mussels are a shellfish that's called a bivalve. They're called bivalves because they have two shells connected by a hinge. You will see mussels on just about every menu. That's because they're extremely versatile when it comes to recipes. They're very lean, inexpensive, they look beautiful on a plate, and they certainly do taste delicious. The majority of mussels that we buy are farm-raised saltwater mussels. This is a good choice because they're sustainable and responsible in their farming and harvesting. They don't interrupt our natural ecosystem in any way. When you purchase mussels for your commercial kitchen, they'll come in a 10-pound sack or a net bag. They're going to have this shipper tag attached to them. You need to hang on to that tag. It's extremely important. What this tag does is it gives us the origin of the seafood in case there's ever an issue with a foodborne illness. These shellfish can sometimes carry bacteria on the outside of them, and the health department requires that we hang on to these for 90 days past the last day we serve the last one of the mussels out of that 10-pound bag. First thing is, your mussels really should have no smell, or if there is a faint smell, it's going to smell a little bit like seawater. First thing you want to do is you want to sort your mussels. You want to go through and you want to look for any that have broken shells. Any that have broken shells are most likely dead. If they're not dead, they are contaminated, so we don't want to serve those. You want to get rid of those, toss those out. Next, you want to look for any that are open. Just because they're open doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead. You can give them a squeeze like that, and if they do close up, then they're fine. You can go ahead and serve those. Next, you want to purge them. Now, a lot of chefs skip this step, and because they're farmed mussels, they assume because they're farmed above the ocean floor that they're not going to have any sand and grit in them. That's not necessarily the case because I've been into enough mussels to know it's really unpleasant. I don't want to pass that along to any of my customers, so I do purge them. Purging is really simple. It makes for a better finished product. It's about 2 tablespoons of salt. Any kind of salt will work. Into about 32 ounces of cold water. You want to add your mussels, cover those with a towel, put them in your cooler or your refrigerator for about 2 to 3 hours. What happens with purging is it forces them to expel or spit out that last little bit of salt or sand or grit that they might have inside under their shell. Next thing you want to do is you want to rinse them under cold water. You're just going to give them a good rinse under cold water. I usually use a clean towel. I make sure that I wipe these really well. You can use a scrub brush too. You want to make sure you get any dirt or barnacles off of there because that certainly isn't going to be very good looking when you serve those up. The other thing you want to look for is any that have a beard. This beard, this will be hanging off the side of the mussel. You won't see a lot of these with farmed mussels, but this is the filament that the mussel uses to attach itself to wherever it's going to grow in the ocean. The easiest way to take this off is to take your towel, grab that, pull back in a sharp motion, back towards the hinge, and your mussel's ready to go. Now we're ready to prepare our mussels. So the process that we use to prepare mussels is steaming. We don't cook, we steam. You want to use about 1/2 cup of any liquid. It can be water or any liquid your recipe calls for. Today I'm using fish stock. You're going to add that to a pot that's big enough to hold your mussels. I'm also adding some aromatics. I'm adding a little bit of chopped garlic, some chopped shallots, and I also have a bay leaf in there. I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to cook that for about a minute. Let all those flavors come together. I am going to then drop my mussels in, put the lid on. Want to make sure this is a nice tight-fitting lid. Like I said, we are steaming, not cooking. About 3 minutes later, you want to take a good look at those mussels. If there are any that haven't opened, you're going to give those a little shake. Put that back on the flame. Another 2 minutes or so, and your mussels are ready. When you're ready to serve your mussels, you want to plate them. You want to look for any that aren't open. If they didn't open, make sure that they get thrown out, and enjoy your mussels. Thank you.